Okay, so recently we got the trailer for Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore, and I think I have a problem with this entire movie franchise moving forward, especially with the direction it is actually showcasing us towards the fans. Now I want to keep this video short because I don't want to go in a rant, I don't want to hate upon something which is not even released yet. I'm going to keep my expectations in check, but for now, especially keeping in mind the trailer and the way the posters have been designed, I really have a problem with the overall property moving forward, and I'm going to explain that why in this particular video. So hello and welcome to WhyZ, and thank you so much for joining in, and let's just jump into it. So now, before talking about this movie, I should give a preface to my experience with Harry Potter as a whole. I have been a fan of Harry Potter pretty much my entire life. I had read some of the books back in the day in my school library. I used to take some of the books to read them, and subsequently I discovered the movies as well. I did not watch them as they were being released because back then I was not really allowed to watch a lot of movies, let alone English movies as a whole. So I think I watched the entire series of the Harry Potter movies pretty much after the finale was already there. I mean, after the ending of Deathly Hallows. I think it was around 2011 when I actually watched the entirety of the movies. And since then, I have been a fan. I've been a fan of Hogwarts. I've been a fan of the Harry Potter franchise as a whole. And no matter what BS J.K. Rowling does, I don't care about it. I don't care about her opinion at this moment. I have made my peace with keeping both the properties different. J.K. Rowling is a different entity. Sure, she made this series, so credits and props to her for that. But her recent behavior and whatnot, it's just irritating, and I don't want to disregard my love for Harry Potter for something as nonsensical as her. It's a different matter, and I want to keep these two entities separate as a whole, and therefore I want to just say that my love for Harry Potter is never going to diminish. It's a series which is going to stay close to my heart till the day I die, and at the same time, it's not just about the books as well. Of course, the books are awesome, but even the movies, I really enjoy the movies despite all its flaws. Now, I think that this is more than enough amount of preface necessary for me to make a video like this, because you know what, the first movie, which was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, I actually liked that movie a lot. It was different. The biggest point here was that it was different. I know that it was supposed to be a cash grab, of course, trying to bank in upon the success of Harry Potter franchise. Warner Brothers just made a generic new movie that is fine and whatnot. But overall, I really like the premise of the movie because number one, it was set in a different environment, and number two, it had some pretty good cast. Newt Scamander was fine. I'm not saying that he's the best of the characters, but my personal favorite there was definitely Kowalski. I mean, I never realized that in a series like Harry Potter, I would fall in love with a character like Jacob Kowalski, who is technically a muggle. Now the definition might change with the upcoming series and how he's eventually maybe getting a wand, and how he was called a no-match and whatnot. But overall, the entire setting in New York, in Americas, this was really nice. I really enjoyed the shenanigans that followed there because it was different from the overall Harry Potter movies. Yeah, sure, it was set in the same universe, but it had a vibe of its own. It had a charm of its own. And the biggest point here is that I wanted to see this. I wanted to explore the world beyond Hogwarts. I mean, Hogwarts will always remain home for us. Hogwarts will have a warm and fuzzy feeling for us. But this was something new. This was some of the unexplored territories which I actually wanted to see. But here, the premise is returning back to Hogwarts, and not in a good way. That's my biggest problem with this franchise moving forward now. And this is actually a very peculiar situation. You know, for a lot of the long running series which are beloved among the fans, a number of times we get a sequel for that, and fans immediately say that, okay, this sequel was not at all needed. It would have been so much better if we got to see maybe a prequel of the series involving, say, some of the most beloved characters. One of the biggest examples which comes to my mind right now is involving the Naruto franchise, the anime Naruto franchise. Naruto is a very huge series, and now it has a sequel in the form of Boruto, wherein Boruto is the child of Naruto. And still, even today, even though quite a lot of time has actually passed, people still talk about how it would have been better if we got to see a prequel for the Naruto series involving some of the forefathers of the series like Madara and Hashirama, or even a series involving the father of Naruto, that is Minato Namikaze. This is a very common consensus among a lot of the popular long-running series. And the peculiar thing is that we are actually getting it. Here in Harry Potter, we are actually getting a prequel which connects a lot of the world building. That was actually the premise of the series as well, because beyond Hogwarts, we never actually get to see the other schools. We don't get to see what is lying outside the bubble of Hogwarts, and even during the war against Voldemort, we actually never got to see what happened beyond just the, niche and bubble of Hogwarts. Okay, yeah, sure, Voldemort was this evil dude and whatnot who was trying to terrorize the entire world, but what happened to the entire world? How was the entire world being engulfed by the darkness of Voldemort? We never really got much into the glimpses of these kind of territories, and I thought that maybe this would be the perfect chance to actually show us what the greater world lies ahead in front of the world of Harry Potter. Like what happened to the other schools? How is the world in the other continents? Say America, say Asia, say Australia. What eventually happened there? What are the stories of the other characters? And especially what is the story of the other beasts? The very name of the series is actually Fantastic Beasts. It's not actually Harry Potter. And as much as I want to actually, get to know the story of Dumbledore, who is actually shrouded in a lot of mystery, I don't feel that a series like this is the perfect opportunity to do like that. Maybe a standalone movie would have been better to explore the dynamics of not just Dumbledore, but even his brother, and of course the relationship which they had with Grindelwald. So all these things would have been definitely much better without the involvement of the Fantastic Beasts properties. Newt Scamander should have just gone over across the entire world, just seeing the different magical figures, just seeing the different magical, creatures. That would have been so much better. And in fact, that was actually the original premise of the first movie, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. That okay, you have seen Hogwarts, you have seen the story of Harry Potter, you have seen the entire plot line of Voldemort, but what if you saw more about it? What if you saw the entire world, the grand picture of the world, and involving the eyes of a no-mage or muggle? And here Jacob Kowalski was the perfect character for a setting like that. But instead, we are getting something totally different. From the vibe of this trailer and specifically this poster, it's aiming and just calling us out that, hey, we have Hogwarts, you love Hogwarts, come back to Hogwarts, give us money. Just that's it, nothing more than that. I mean, again, I'm just admitting it right off the bat. Hogwarts is a cheap plug for me. I'm obviously going to watch this movie. I'm maybe not going to go into the cinemas to watch it, but eventually it is going to come up on Amazon Prime or whatnot, and I will definitely watch this movie because it involves Hogwarts and I'm just having a soft spot for Hogwarts. But it's just bad. It's just not a good way to tell your stories. You promise something different in the beginning and now you're totally flipping around and saying a totally or conveying a totally different story. That is just not good. And this is a very cheap tactic. This is really a very cheap tactic in my opinion. It might work because of course Hogwarts is not just a soft spot for me but for a lot of different people. So just because of that, maybe a lot of people are going to watch this movie and it might become a commercial success, but it's not a good way to build this series. It would have been much better if the Fantastic Beasts trilogy ended in a separate note, in a separate way, maybe wherein Newt Scamander went to different schools, the different wizarding schools of the world, and maybe after that we got a trilogy, or after that we got a standalone movie which actually involved the origin of Hogwarts, and not just Dumbledore but something which involved the founding fathers of Hogwarts, Salazar Slytherin and all the other characters. That would have been so much cool, and they could really had a much better PR campaign for that as well. But this is what it is and I don't know what to say anymore. But either way, these are some of my thoughts in this particular regard, especially involving Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore. So what do you guys think about all of these things? Please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. So that's it for today guys. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel for more. Join the channel membership for some very cool perks and features. Join the Discord server for more. This is WhyZ. I'll see you all on the next one.